Today's episode is brought to you by Diane Kinlaw of Go Prime Mortgage and Jamie Tulak of eXp Realty.
Thank you for listening to the Guys Who Do Stuff podcast. Visit guyswhodostuff.com. You probably shouldn't Google that.
Welcome to the Guys Who Do Stuff podcast. I'm Joe.
And I'm Josh.
Josh is back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks, dog.
You can be on your foot now. That's exciting.
I'm weight bearing this
You're
week.
weight bearing.
Yeah.
It means you can drive.
I get to park in handicap spots and crutch my way around the
You're
world.
like a big boy.
I am a big boy, and I get a lot of sympathy, and people open the door for me. I just learned to say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel good about using your handicap thing? I mean, it's a pain to get out of your car and go across a big old parking lot.
Yeah, it expires, March 20, so
Yeah.
I've got another month to milk it. I do enjoy it. I'm the kind of guy that likes to park far away to get some exercise.
Right.
So I'll go back to that, but for now I'll take it, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're up and about, man.
Thanks, Joe.
Good to have you. We missed you the last couple of weeks.
I miss you too, Joe.
Well, we're going to jump into today, and today we've got a special guest, Chuck Brewer, who actually Josh met while he was rest up.
Well, one of the things that comes out of these, situations in life is that you get to meet new people and build new relationships and discover new things. And one of the things I've discovered is that I enjoy watching birds eat. And
So eloquently put.
well, I'm laying on the sofa on my what I call the healing couch, and I look out this big window through the dining room, and I see this space, and I'm like, there needs to be something in that space in the backyard. Birds, bird feeder. I need to see birds. And then, sure enough, I called what was my bird store in Cary, and they don't have any sort of way to deliver or order online, and they pointed me to the Wild Birds Unlimited store in Chapel Hill. So I call up the Wild Birds Unlimited store in Chapel Hill, and this gentleman named Chuck answers, and we have this great conversation, and he really gave me confidence about what direction to go in. And he said, hey, I can come by and set up the bird feeder for you since you're on the couch recovering from surgery. And I said, man, really? He said, yeah. I said, that'd be awesome. Here's Chuck. Chuck, hello.
Hey, yep, it's me, Chuck.
Yeah.
Hey, Chuck, welcome.
You're
Thank
Chuck.
I am Chuck,
Do you go by Charles?
occasionally.
So tell us a little bit about your company and yourself.
My wife and I bought a Wild Birds Limited franchise about 4.5 years ago. We were both ready for a career change. There's a point in any career where you have to either grow or move.
Right.
We're both definitely at that point. We were actually on vacation in Florida. I was going through my email. I used to shop at the same Cary store that Josh does. We were on their mailing list, and they sent out an email on behalf of the Chapel Hill Wild Birds Unlimited saying that the store is for sale. When I saw that, I thought that was it. That's all I thought of for the rest of that trip was researching franchises, reading about the Wild Birds Unlimited franchise, and trying to figure out how to really make the thing work. I really like North Carolina. I definitely have fond memories of doing road trips to Disney World and from Connecticut in the winter. North Carolina was a place where if you got out of the car, the rest area, it first started seeming warm.
Yeah.
You know John Mayer's from Connecticut, right? John Mayer.
No. It's not.
Your body is a wonderland, Chuck. No, I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that's a John Mayer song.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I never made the connection. No.
Like Connecticut. You don't say that.
No.
Does anybody say that?
You do.
I thought it's Connecticut.
No, that's just when you're trying to spell it.
I don't think so.
Oh, Lord, help me. Anywho.
So you and your wife, you're in Florida, you're on vacation, you're both considering a career change.
Yeah.
You get this email, which kind of serves as a catalyst to changing the course of your vacation. So you start researching everything you can about franchise ownership and everything. So what were some of the things that you learned about franchise ownership?
One thing that I was really impressed with Wild Birds Unlimited as far as they're very honest and legit, and they really want you to succeed, and they really don't seem to have any great goals to make themselves rich.
Sure.
As far as everything is, certainly, obviously, their franchise fees and royalties and stuff, but really that's in the service of perpetuating the franchise.
Gotcha.
As opposed to some
rich
rich
scheme. Cared
scheme.
about their owners and they took care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And because one thing too, as soon as you start looking at one franchise, you can't help but say,
so,
if you're interested in this franchise, you'd be interested in this franchise. Because the funny thing about them is there's zero. I have no interest in owning any other franchise. so many franchises, really, it's about hiring and training teenagers or 20-somethings. And that's not what I'm interested in.
Well, did you have that revelation I had where it's like, oh my gosh, birds are awesome.
Yeah.
I want to be with do something with birds. Like,
I've always enjoyed feeding birds.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, Alicia, she was active with the Audubon Society in Florida, where she's from. She's really great at identifying birds, and she certainly enjoys feeding birds. When I bought my house, one of the first things I did was get a bird feeder. Of course, I did what everybody else does: is you go to Home Depot, you buy a bird feeder in a box, has a baffle, has a pole, has everything, and then in like less than a year, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, the squirrels are up in it, eating it, and it's just falling apart.
And so then, of course, I went to Wild Birds Unlimited in Cary, and I got a pole system and feeders and stuff. And so, in fact, we have a live feed on YouTube.
Oh, really?
And it's on our feeder station, and what you see there is all stuff, with the exception maybe a feeder or two, that pre-existed the camera and the store.
We have to make it a point to plug that link. It's pretty cool. You get to see the bird feeder, not 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's daylight. Yes.
Well, yeah. Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
So I want to go back to that time in Florida.
Yeah.
It's a vacation.
Yeah.
And you're taking a break from work, which is what you should be doing. And then you get excited about a new kind of work.
Yeah.
What motivated you to pull the trigger and say, I think we should do this? And was your wife on board initially?
Oh, she was totally on board. I mean, she was definitely ready for a change.
Yeah.
She worked as a department manager in a testing laboratory for water and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Again, she was just, there's some management changes and stuff.
So she was going to jump in with you. You guys were going to do it together.
Yeah.
So are
exactly.
you guys the main employees? Do you have other employees?
Yeah, right now we have 2 employees who are working out pretty well. Definitely, that's probably our biggest challenge is staffing.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, we would really like to have a manager that we have. I mean, we can make cameos and we can be there when we want to be there. But it'd be really nice to have the thing kind of self-sufficient.
Yeah. How long ago did you guys start the franchise? Purchase it?
Yeah, it was about 4.5 years ago.
4.5 years
Yeah.
ago.
You guys have really taken flight.
So it's, so to speak. Yeah.
Sitting on that one. Probably just started with just you and your wife. How did that go? Was it?
Yeah, we actually had some employees. There was a pre-existing franchise.
Okay.
It actually came with some staff members, but
Are any of
ultimately,
them still with you?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You found out they don't like birds.
I think we were just more of a business.
So this was your first time owning a franchise, correct?
It is. Yep.
Did you have any mentors along the way? Anybody giving you guidance?
We were just talking about that, right?
Certainly, that's one advantage of a franchise is the franchise. They're kind of your mentor,
Right.
and certainly the other store owners are supportive.
Because they're invested in your success too. Because if the total entity is a success, then that helps them.
Right, and also, I mean, I think they certainly. I know I enjoy talking about business stuff.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, that's kind of one of the big pluses then of doing a franchise, huh? Is you kind of have a built-in mentorship.
Exactly.
Between the corporate training that you have and the people that are probably assigned. Do you have somebody that's assigned to your store? Do you have a corporate representative?
Yeah, and they kind of come and go, but
yeah. And what is their role?
They can help you put together your projections and your forecasts for the next year.
What do you think the best piece of advice you got from the Wild Birds Unlimited was, for as far as being a successful franchise owner?
Since it's a franchise, they want to make the stores match so that people that are in one Wild Birds Unlimited in one place are comfortable in a Wild Birds Unlimited in another place. And so the color scheme and the floors and that sort of thing.
You're in Chapel Hill, right?
Yes.
Have you tapped into that Chapel Hill college scene at all, like at Birds and Dorms, or do students come and see you, or
it's
you go to campus with some birds?
I really wish that Chapel Hill was closer to Apex where we live, because that's part of the kind of the blocks between that is just that we don't socialize as much in Chapel Hill as we would otherwise, I think.
Yeah. Well, you seem to have a real grassroots sort of organic following in Chapel Hill, regardless of where you live.
So 4.5 years, you and your wife have been running this franchise. What have you learned? Like, what have been some of the takeaways? Anything surprise you from working for somebody else, from working to yourself?
It's amazing how many little tasks there are.
Yeah.
It's basic. They're things that if you don't do them, nobody will do them. And it's kind of hard even in like internalizing how much work it is, because none of the individual ones are difficult.
Right. Yeah. And that can definitely, it can stack up as a business owner, because there's nobody else there if you don't do the little things.
Exactly.
Unless you have delegated the little things.
And certainly time management and trying to figure out when to do which tasks.
I feel like that's been a struggle. Are you getting better at it? Is it getting more of a struggle?
Definitely getting better at it.
Yeah.
And also I think finding I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Though I need to be better about making to-do lists.
Yeah.
I don't really do to-do lists.
Some people recommend that you shouldn't even do them.
That's
you should
right.
Just focus on the first couple of things that are the most important that day and not worry about the to-do list.
Right. And I figure if I don't remember to do it, then it couldn't be that important.
I mean, you have this brain, right? It should work, right? You should
Yeah,
remember,
but,
recall. I mean,
What were some of the challenges you faced early on? Did you ever have a moment like, oh dear, what did I do?
I'm doing my kind of own accounting.
Yeah.
I did some online courses and things on QuickBooks and stuff.
Yeah, that's learning a whole new skill set.
Yeah.
well, that's applying what you did in your previous career with testing and researching and coming out with data and proving things. You can apply that, right?
Well, I mean, it's again, I have a brain, I guess.
And it's not a bird brain show.
but definitely new skills.
Right. Are you still doing your accounting or have you off?
I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have an accountant who does the taxes, and
Yeah.
just it's on my mind now because I just had to finish the stuff for the year.
The birds
pass
have
it
no
off to
idea how much work goes into feeding them.
Oh yeah, no, that's all.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't
They
care.
Yeah.
They're just there.
What were some of the things that you found particularly challenging?
Luckily for me, my wife, at least, she does most of the marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's tag team, huh?
Yeah, exactly. You just have to make it clear to each other exactly which responsibilities are whose and which responsibilities are yours. Things need to get done, but also you need to have the freedom to do it your way.
Right.
I've settled into the tasks that are mine and the tasks that are hers.
It's probably a lot similar to like division and labor in a house. You know, once
exactly.
Once you figure out who does what, then you don't have to worry. I don't know if you remember, like I know for me, like early on, we would fight over the dumbest stuff. Like
You and I, or you and Laura?
no, me and Laura. Yeah, we'd fight about like the way stuff got done.
Very important, loading the dishwasher properly.
Yeah.
And
As time goes on, you figure that stuff out. I can't think of the last time we had an argument over something like how something got done.
right.
So now it's just like, oh, did it get done? Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
No. And that's the other thing too, that it's the franchise. I mean, they also understand how important that is. And actually in the contract you signed with the franchise, they have a list of responsibilities, which obviously is not all inclusive list. You initial which tasks you're going to be responsible for.
Oh, so they're trying to set you up for success. and make sure
Exactly.
that
Right.
happens. Our title sponsors for this show are Diane Kinlaw and Jamie Tulak. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or wish to refinance, why not seek the counsel of a friend who happens to know the Triangle housing market better than the back of her hand? As your local lender, Diane Kinlaw knows how important this area is to you because it's her home too. That's why she's made it a goal not to just be the best loan officer around, but a community leader supporting small businesses with referrals and networking events and supporting local charities with frequent fundraisers. If you're looking to move to Holly Springs or the surrounding area, or maybe interested in a refinance to lower your term or rate, Diane offers a wide array of programs to fit your family's needs. Let her be a part of your path home. A home doesn't have to be a dream. Let Diane make it a reality. You can contact us at www.goprime.com and search for Diane or call 919-624-9541. GoPrime Mortgage Incorporated Company NMLS number 69551. Diane Kinlaw NMLS number 1600777. GoPrime is an equal housing opportunity lender. Today's show sponsor, Jamie Tulak of eXp Realty, has a passion for serving clients and nearly a decade of industry experience as a top producing realtor and designer. Jamie Tulak of eXp Realty will help you reach your real estate goals. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or renting in today's market, having an experienced real estate expert working for you is crucial. And don't forget to ask her about her Hometown Heroes credit for military, police, firefighters, teachers, and medical providers. Contact Jamie Tulak today at 559-707-1913. That's 559-707-1913. MRP certified.
You guys ever let birds loose in the store?
No, though that's funny. Somebody just came in with a budgie.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Little Australian budgie?
Yeah, it was ran into the glass at the ABC store,
Oh, gosh.
and it was
hurt.
I don't know. It was just a little stunned.
I can't let that moment pass. The bird ran into the glass at the ABC store. What was it drinking? You had a pigeon bringing you something from the ABC store. The pigeon ran into it. Let's get this
Yeah,
story straight.
one of the guys who works at the ABC store found the thump and investigated, found the bird. And since we were Wild Birds Unlimited, he thought this would be the natural place.
He thought this is your problem.
He brings him in and lets him
look, man,
rip.
when some drunk guy throws up in my parking lot, I'll come get you.
Yeah. And the bird got away from him momentarily and flew right towards Mason, the fluffy cardigan corgi. Don't go to the dog.
Oh, gosh.
Are you involved in any of the Chamber of Commerce or any kind of networking stuff for other business owners?
Thought about that. They haven't actually reached out to me. We have a sticker on our door from Chamber of Commerce, I think 2009.
It came from the last
previous. So certainly that's come up with other store owners.
Yeah.
And I think depending upon, I guess, the locale, they've somehow had more success than others.
Right. I love your story about you were doing something you guys felt like it had run its course and it was time to do something else. And you decided to be one of the brave and few brick and mortar business owners that still exist in this age of Amazon and everything. So I'm really curious from your perspective. You run a franchise. You're doing your thing. What is your guys' definition of success?
You're kind of in a position where if we have enough money saved for retirement, that as long as we can kind of pay our living expenses, we're good. That's actually the store's working out that way.
So success for you guys is getting to keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Until you're ready to retire. In retirement, do you hope to have the store keep running, but you have a manager in place and somebody else runs it?
If we have somebody that can run the store, then we'll keep it. If it turns out that we can't, then we'll sell the store.
You look like you're a ways from retirement.
Yeah, I mean, I think about 5 years from now, I think we might be ready for something new.
Oh, yeah, that soon, huh?
10 years, I think, seems like a good stint for
right.
store ownership. And also with, I think, the new skills that we've gotten with, like, owning a small business, I think there are opportunities that may arise where we can take advantage of them. Things that quite aren't so demanding time-wise.
So walk me through, like, a week in the life of a franchise owner.
Radio interviews for podcasts. We kind of try to split the time. On weekends, both my wife and I are there. The staff aren't there unless we have special events.
Okay.
Because every month we do in-store programs. And this Saturday, there's going to be one on Bluebirds. Bluebird landlording as far as setting up boxes and things for them.
I love that. Bluebird landlording.
You don't want to be a Bluebird slumlord.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want to be. So I am a Bluebird landlord, and my mother gave me a Bluebird house that was in our family. And I put it on a 4x4 in the yard, and there are bluebirds checking it out. I think they have a realtor with them, and they come by every week. And when I looked in there yesterday, there's nobody living in there right now, but I've seen them going in and out. And you have a bird photographer coming in to do a thing in the future. I've seen
yes,
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my wife, she organizes all these events.
That's great.
All right, so tell me a little bit about, was the desire to start the franchise because of your love for birds and bird watching? Was it because you wanted to change careers and do something new? Or was it a combination of both?
I think, well, certainly both. The main thing I think was changing careers.
Right.
I think we were kind of stuck in a rut, and I think it was definitely what needed. But also it was something where, I mean, it seems like such a perfect fit.
Right.
For both of us.
Yeah. That's exciting.
And
I think that matches up with a lot of people from what we've heard on this show. It might not be like the thing that they're doing might not be the utmost passion, but they find passion in it. And for a lot of people, business is business, and a job is important, and it's work, and it's what we do with our time. But I do have some questions about birds, and now that we got an expert, Josh, I don't know if you have any bird questions either.
No.
One thing I was always told as a kid was that if you touched a baby bird, then its mom would like abandon it and not come back and feed it. Is that something where they just tell that to kids to get them to not touch baby birds, or is that true?
True or false, Chuck?
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true. I mean, the parents don't care.
They're like free babysitting.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can just watch out for that kid, feed them.
No. If you do find a fledgling, you can pick it up and put it back in the nest, and it's the parents won't care one way or the other.
Yeah. What are some of the common misperceptions that people have about feeding birds and customers that come into your store? What are some of the things that they get wrong the most?
I don't know. Well, certainly. Feeding the birds, I mean, the birds are not going to become dependent upon your feeders.
Yeah.
That's generally, it's still going to be a small
people might
percentage.
Be concerned that they're taking away the bird's ability to thrive in the wild.
Exactly. Right. And so there's no harm from, exactly. You're not spoiling them.
I guess if that were true, you'd have just a bunch of fat birds around bird feeders that couldn't even fly. Do you guys sell those bird feeders that have the little motor when it gets depressed that it flings the squirrel off?
No, we don't. We do have other ones where the way the squirrel closes the ports.
Yeah.
But the ones that fling the squirrel off, you pay for the mechanism.
Right.
You have to periodically charge the battery in it. Squirrels learn. So you don't actually generally.
So it's only fun for a minute.
It's not exactly only fun until they learn, and then it's you don't get to see them flung off over and over unless you. I think there's some squirrels that are more
you
persistent.
got a really dumb squirrel.
Exactly.
Just a really dense
Spends
squirrel.
his whole life being thrown off the feed.
Yeah.
I use the baffle. Chuck hooked me up with a squirrel baffle, so I see him climb up in there and climb back out, and the same squirrel doesn't do it twice. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it's always funny when they climb up in the baffle. They spend some time up there.
Yeah, they spend some time.
Yeah,
up in there.
exactly.
What
So
are you
like,
doing?
you see the squirrel go up, and then it's been up there long enough that you think you like blinked and missed it, but
Yeah.
then it comes back out. So it's like 2 minutes. It's hanging out inside the baffle. That's definitely what we recommend. If you have a baffled pole, it's as long as you can place it more than 10 feet from something the squirrels can jump from.
Now, to what extent do birds communicate with other birds to say, "Hey, down the road, take a left. There's a feeder there," or they happen to fly over and see it, or is that their habitat? What's their circumference of?
They just shoot out a tweet.
That's a good question. I don't really know
It's
exactly how far
interesting,
they move. I mean, they're definitely.
There's all these little bird facts that float around, like
Yeah.
the thing I asked you about the chickadees. Is it true that their brains swell 2 to 3 times their normal size in the winter so they
Right.
can see food better and that sort of thing? I mean, it's possible, but how do we really know?
Right. Well, that was about remembering locations where they hit stashed food. It may or may not be true. I haven't looked at the.
Yeah.
I
Research.
got another bird question.
Okay.
While we got the expert in here.
Bring it,
What
Jeff.
about the whole thing where at weddings they throw rice? Do
Mhm.
birds actually swell up and explode if they get fed a bunch of rice?
I haven't heard that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I doubt it, but I don't.
Somebody would have put that online by now if that was a thing.
Birds will explode. What, eating uncooked rice?
Yeah, I think it's just something about it swelling in their stomach or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, may not be good for it.
Well, if they eat it, isn't it their fault?
Obvious question. What's your favorite bird?
Well, there's a hermit thrush.
Ooh.
A hermit
And
thrush?
I guess part of the reason why I like it is because it's a winter bird that we just have in the winter.
Okay.
So it's something that
Only see it in the winter?
you only see in the winter.
That one sounds like a metal band from
Hermit thrush.
from the 90s. Ladies and gentlemen, Hermit Thrush.
Yeah.
Back to a little bit about the franchise there and being a business owner. What systems or processes do you wish you would have put in place sooner?
Oh, yeah.
It would be nice to actually have more documented procedures for the staff. There are a lot of things that we pass on to our employees, and then they do it that way. But then when there's new staff, they just do it their way, and then it's like
You lead
exactly. It doesn't even occur to you that there's multiple ways of doing it, and then it's
Right.
like, okay, well, we need to document this because we like doing it our way,
Right.
or the way it was done in the past.
So what advice would you give to people thinking about purchasing a franchise?
It's a commitment.
Do you think that it's easier than starting a business? I mean, have you started one from scratch that's not a
No,
franchise?
I have not started a business from scratch.
Do you get a feeling that it'd be easier, more difficult?
Oh, I think it would definitely be more difficult.
Yeah.
In this case too, since this was a existing store, we figured that we'd do at least as good as the previous owner.
Mm-hmm.
So it meant we had a baseline.
Right.
So we knew that. I mean,
You had like a year's worth of documents showing that the store did business and what to expect.
right, exactly.
Yes.
In fact, actually, we have the information going back to it when it was opened in 2004.
Right.
So you can really see kind of what's the worst possible year? What's the
Sure.
best possible year?
And that would give you a ton of confidence as a business
Exactly,
owner, knowing,
right,
like,
exactly.
This is how it was.
Right. And it meant that day one, we had a customer base. There's no question it's a lot of work.
If something were to happen with Wild Birds Unlimited, would you consider doing another franchise?
This particular franchise has such a perfect fit with my interest and Alicia's interest.
It'd be hard to
That-
imagine anything
That
else
I
coming
can't really
along.
imagine anything that would be such a good fit for
Yeah.
both of us.
But tell us a little bit about your store and where people can come find out about it and shop there. And
Okay, our store is located in Chapel Hill North Shopping Center. It's on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, just south of 40. Certainly, we have a Facebook page that my wife does a great job maintaining.
and you got the weekly events on Saturdays,
Monthly events.
monthly events
Yes.
that
Mhm.
happen on Saturdays.
Yeah. And also, we have the live YouTube bird cam. So if you go to YouTube and search for Chapel Hill bird cam, you can see it there.
24/7.
24/7.
Any advice to people that are thinking about, man, I need a bird feeder? Like, why shouldn't they just go to Lowe's and grab one, or send their 4-year-old to a class on Lowe's on Saturday and have a terrible bird feeder?
I mean, you get what you pay for. The feeders we have are designed to last.
And with all due respect, nobody knows anything about birds in Lowe's. I mean, the chances are, you're shopping for that, somebody's walking by. Whereas you come in your shop and you get Chuck and Alicia and the community.
Right. And our staff, too. I mean, we spend a lot of time training our staff.
That's one of the things I was so thankful for. When I had the first desire to go get a birdhouse back in last year, I went into Lowe's and I bought one that looked like a little church.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so cool. I brought it to the house and it just fell apart, and the birds didn't know how to deal with it. And then I thought, oh my gosh.
So it happens to a lot of churches. This church
They fall apart because too much diversity of birds. They're fighting over the little church. But then I ended up going to a bird store. I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's community here. Like we talk about on this podcast, building community, going in and finding like-minded people and having a place to go. You know, that third place or whatever, and especially for a hobby.
A lot of the feeders do have lifetime guarantees, and they do cost more. But if you consider this is the last time you're gonna have to buy this feeder, then
if you want the best,
exactly. Why suffer? And
well, plus you guys have a membership program. Is that correct?
We do. Yeah.
Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, for $25 a year, you save 15% on bird food every day. And when we have seed sales, you get an extra 5% off the sale price. Every $200 you spend, you get $10 back in bird bucks that you can spend on the store like cash. And every month we do special promotions. For,
and if you live east of the Mississippi and you're on crutches, Chuck will deliver it to your house personally after work.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, Chuck. Thanks so much for coming on. Tell us about your business. Appreciate it.
That was my pleasure.
Everybody have a great day.
We love making this stuff for you. You can help us out by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts. Get unstuck, tell a better story, and have a good answer to the question, what are you doing today?